Who are these people?
Speaking of a couple of steps ahead, sometimes they throw you curveballs. So I brought a story with us this evening that, yes, I know Kalinsky covered it, but we're gonna do better. So I doubt he even found this in Common Dreams. He probably found it on, like, I don't know, Yahoo News. What do you think Kyle uses? Ask Jeeves still probably. He's trying to map quest this shit. You know what I mean? Like that's where he's getting his directions. But this button, there we go. So scientists revive zombie virus after 50,000 years trapped in Siberian permafrost. Researchers documented 13, lucky number, never before seen viruses that have been lying dormant, frozen in thick ice over tens of thousands of years. You looking forward to this, Colin? You've been ready for this movie, part of the movie?
Sure.
I hope you brought popcorn, you know? So, as our world continues to warm up, vast areas of permafrost are rapidly melting, releasing material that's been trapped for up to 1 million years. This includes uncountable numbers of microbes that have been lying dormant for hundreds of millennia. To study these emerging microbes, scientists from the French National Center for Scientific Research have now revived a number of these zombie whoa, back up. Why are we reviving these things? First off,
Right.
like, let those motherfuckers sleep, dog. Like, what are you doing? That's like, God, they're gonna make Jurassic Park, Colin. They're fucking, did they not watch the movie?
Right.
Did they not
watch? Said they already made this movie. I'm sure people are thinking of Jurassic Park.
Like any of these, like there's like 9 movies that are like, this is the plot. Like Cusack's gotta find the, like, it's, oh God. Who's the one in Jurassic Park that's like laying down? The classic, like, crap, I can't remember his name. People know who I'm talking about. Like, I forget. Now I can't remember. He's weird. He's the weird one. It frustrates me that I can't think of it. It'll come to me in a second.
Sure.
So he's also in Hunger Games, I think. I'll think about it. But so
if you know in the chat, say it.
yeah. Goldblum. Someone got it. Thank you.
There you go. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. You saved me from another bout of ADHD rabbit holing. But so they revived them, a number, right, from the Siberian permafrost. Oh, it's gotta be Russian viruses, Colin. It's like all the fucking bullshit in one article. Of course Kyle covered this. Of course he did. Like,
and to give you an update, he did get it from Common Dreams too. So
damn it. Damn you, Kyle. So including one thought to be nearly 50,000 years old, a record age for a frozen virus returning to a state capable of infecting other organs. Bro, put it back to sleep. Like, the thing is killed with fire. Use fire. Like, try that first. You know? Like, oh God. What do you want the prehistoric virus to do? What do you want the virus to do, Colin?
Kill off our government leaders. That's why I want.
Yeah, it only attacks people who wear flag lapels. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Like, goddamn, virus, you specific as shit. I'm trying to think of a good one. I definitely think it turns people to lizard people. That's what it has to do. It's prehistoric. You got to go that way. It's all lizard people, you know. Or that's the only people it affects is lizard people. Then all the symptoms start from there, you know. Like, they got to sit on a rock in the sun. Like, Nancy be out there and shit trying to warm her blood. Anyway, I'm just making another movie. But so yeah, the team behind the study, led by microbiologist Jean-Marie, says these ancient viruses are potentially a significant threat to public health, and further study needs to be done to assess the danger that these infectious agents could pose as the permafrost melts. The researchers warned it may just be the tip of the iceberg. Bro, we're talking about Alien now. That's what we're talking about. We made it to Alien. You want to do research on it, so let's just, like, I don't know, leave it in a room full of weird eggs and see what happens. Like, that's what, oh God. Oh, Collin, we're going to be the first ones. The fat guy and the black dude are the first ones to die. All right? Like, we just are. We're not allowed to do that. Oh, get me off this ride, Collin. Oh God, even at least Vox is like gonna talk about some of this shit, you know. So they got a story about it.
In December 2016, a remote community in Siberia experienced.
This is in 2016. This isn't the first time we've dealt with these prehistoric viruses. Would you like to see what they do?
Experienced a mysterious outbreak. 90 people were hospitalized and a 12-year-old boy died. Soon, Russian officials identified what had killed him: the deadly infectious disease anthrax. The outbreak had started among reindeer. To contain the spread, they burned over 2,000 reindeer carcasses. The strange thing was, there hadn't been an anthrax outbreak in the area for more than 70 years. So, to figure out where it came from, scientists started looking underground. In the coldest parts of the world, there's a layer of the Earth that stays frozen all year. Every summer, the soil above it thaws, but this deeper layer stays hard as rock. This is permafrost. Most permafrost is here, in the northern hemisphere around the Arctic. And because it never thaws, permafrost acts kind of like the freezer in your kitchen. When plants and animals here die, they don't actually decompose. Instead, they become preserved in the frozen earth like a time capsule. And it's been that way for thousands of years. But that's changing. Today, humans are burning carbon and making the atmosphere warmer. And that's causing the permafrost to thaw and shrink. By 2100, only these areas will still have any permafrost. And that's causing some problems. When permafrost melts, the land above it becomes unstable, which can lead to landslides. Man-made structures start to fall apart as the ground underneath them collapses. And dead plants and animals that had been frozen for years are starting to thaw out. As they're exposed to air and bacteria, this organic material starts to decompose. That releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. But that's not all it releases. In Siberia, scientists think that the anthrax outbreak came from a long-dead reindeer carcass that thawed out along with the permafrost. Anthrax spores from the carcass would have spread across the area and infected reindeer grazing nearby. And it's not just anthrax. Scientists worry that as permafrost melts, it could unearth all sorts of diseases we thought we had under control. 35 million people live around permafrost. But the carbon released as permafrost melts will accelerate the impacts of climate change everywhere: rising seas, heat waves, droughts in some places, and floods in others. And now we can add one more thing to that list: diseases we thought we conquered.
Well, we're fucked. We're fucked.
We're fucked.
We're fucked.
So, not sure if Kyle went into that, but, you know, and actually that's a good segue into our last segment. But, no, but I think, but yeah, it makes sense. in terms of now that playing that and having some context, like
Yes.
this is so in this context, it makes sense that they actually need to kind of do this.
Oh yeah, it's Call of Duty Frozen Zombies edition. Yes.
Right. But because we're kind of doing it on our own volition, given climate change. So it's either that we try and figure this out or have it come about and we don't know what's going on. So I think given that context, that it makes sense why we got to kind of know what else if that has potential, like with anthrax, like what other potential diseases or spores, whatever you want to call it, might be like in if dead asleep that with climate change might exacerbate now. So yeah, it makes sense, but it's still kind of it's funny to think about in a sense, but at the same time it's kind of like alarming that this is possible.
Yes. I mean, we kind of should have seen it coming, honestly. Like,
I don't think people, like
we
I
saw
don't
the
think
last
people
season of
think-
Game of Thrones. We realized, the fucking
I
shit up
didn't.
there in the north is going to have some crazy fucking snow walkers in it, and you're not going to know what to do. All right? Like, you ever fight a mammoth? Huh? No. It's hard. Like, we built brains to be better than that. Like, that's how it happened. Like, it's crazy. Like, you gotta learn how to make a spear, get a little loincloth. It's weird. But, this article does have a little bit more to it. Where is this? So one corner of the northern hemisphere is underlain by permanently frozen ground, right? The permafrost. Due to climate warming, the permafrost is releasing organic matter frozen up to 1 million years, right? So, part of the organic matter also consists of revived cellular microbes, right? As well as viruses that remain dormant since prehistorical times. So we're talking about fungi. We're talking about, bacteria. That kind of stuff, up to like a unicellular level. We're talking about amoebas, which we already have brain eating versions of those. So, it might be a bit of an issue coming up. Like,
right.
Especially when you think about it, the stuff that would be melting first, Collin, is where the most humans are.
Right.
Like, we're not where it's like, we don't live where it stays that frozen forever.
Right.
We have a few, but like the stuff where it's melting is going to be stuff where like humans might be closer to,
Right.
So that's going to be rough time when, the old god monsters come out of the ground. But a 48,500-year-old virus has been revived from Siberian permafrost. 7 viruses from the Siberian permafrost have been revived and replicated themselves in the lab, including the oldest revived so far. So, the vampire shit's in here too. Like, it's like all the fucking movies. We should not be doing that. So, according to Global News, in 2014, the same researchers unearthed a 30,000-year-old virus trapped in permafrost. The BBC reported the discovery was groundbreaking because, after all that time, the virus was still able to infect organisms, but now they've beaten their own record by reviving a virus that is 48,000 years old. If the authors were indeed isolating live viruses from ancient permafrost, it is likely that even smaller, simpler mammalian viruses would also survive frozen for eons. Virologist Eric Dewart from the University of California told New Scientist. So, okay, I've seen this movie and it didn't end well. And seriously, what's the name again? Pandora virus? the revived virus has been given the name Pandoravirus yedoma, which acknowledges its size and the type of permafrost soil it was found in. Yeah. So
This is legit scary, honestly.
yeah, the fact that they revived it, don't revive it.
Right, but at the same time, we are reviving it.
Yes, and that's like, okay, so let's say France is doing okay and like not doing bad ones. You know, but what about all the other places?
Right. I know you're making the argument like, yeah, like these are trapped in like the Arctic Circle, but there's no telling. We don't know how they respond, like once they're unfrozen and they get out like into our air essentially, or whatever, or our animals or our food, and like if it spreads among people and then it just kind of spreads from there. So we don't know the potential of what these zombie viruses, ancient viruses can do. So in a way, I kind of understand why they need to unearth them to kind of see what the reaction of what they will what can happen to them given our modern environment now. But as I said, like we're already doing that given climate change. And I guess more of a reason why we need to take climate change seriously, for reasons like this. We don't know how it's going to affect human beings now, or our animals, or our crops. So,
oh God, I didn't even think of that. It's all the things. It's
right.
all the
So
things.
right.
It's
So
food supply, fucking viral bullshit,
right.
and like
It's big. Like, so I probably shouldn't say this on YouTube, but think of coronavirus, probably that and worse.
oh, there's so many terrible movie viruses. There was one recently that like where the thing would, it was like an alien virus thing that had like it controlled a whole area of like Nebraska or something like that, and like everything was, it combined everything into things, and it was like a fungal thing. Super weird. Someone will tell me what the name of it is in chat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I forget who's in it. Some lady. But yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
We're fucked.
yeah.
Basically,
So,
yes.